I summoned you, please come to me. Don't bury thoughts that you really want. I fill you up, drink from my cup. Within me lies what you really want.
Vine sat on the edge of a new modest couch, her gaze fixed blankly on the television. The room felt foreign, a stark contrast to the lavish decor of Taehyung's house. As the news anchor's voice droned on, her thoughts spiraled. The image of Taehyung bringing another woman into their house still stung like a fresh wound. She had never expected the betrayal, let alone the way he had insulted her in front of that stranger, reducing her to a mere afterthought. Suddenly, the screen flickered with a breaking news banner, pulling her from her reverie. Big news today: in a bomb blast, a significant portion of Southeast Asia's mafia was wiped out. The infamous mafia king Taehyung is no more. Among the deceased is Choi Wagon, identified as Taehyung's wife, along with her picture, blonde hair, blue eyes, plastered across the screen. Who was this woman they were talking about? Why was her name linked to Taehyung's when she was sitting right here? The walls of her new home seemed to close in, and she felt the weight of the world pressing down. Vine felt her breath catch again. Taehyung, the man she thought she knew, had been living a double life. She could hardly process the information. She couldn't take it anymore and got up. She opened the door and went out. If she stayed back, she would have heard the reporters say, despite sharing blood with the former mafia king Taehyung, Taehyung spent his formative years as an ordinary orphan raised by foster parents. The secrets he uncovered during his 10-year mission would take the founders of authorized. Tragically, today's bomb blast was intended to take out a meeting of mafia leaders, and Taehyung was meant to escape after locking down the ferocious members inside. However, in a last-minute attempt to save innocent lives, he was unable to escape and persist in the explosion. Choi Wagon, mob boss Choi's daughter, was there too. Vine stumbled down the chaotic street, the arcade stand of smoke mingling with the metallic tang of fear. What's happening? Why she was only worried about Taehyung? Why not her other family members' demise made her restless? Is it because he was her husband, or is it because she had only him who had ever showed her those rare moments of tender care? You can't go there, ma'am. We are evacuating the area. No, I'm here. I'm right here. You have to believe me. But her cries fell on deaf ears as the chaos continued around her, people moving like shadows in a fog of grief and confusion. She whispered to herself the reality too cruel to accept. She sank to the ground, tears streaming down her face as she stared at the door. 5th Jan 2020. Dear Diary. This is my first time writing a diary. I was never the one to write my thoughts down. But I can't keep this inside me, nor can I tell this anyone. That's why I am writing it. I saw her. I saw her again today. That girl, that little girl who helped me more than 6 years ago. I saw her while attending a meeting with her college principal. She has grown up so much. She's no longer the tiny penguin. She's lean but has a decent height. You must think that I am mistaking her with someone else, but no, she is that girl only. I heard someone call her. She was Choi Wagon. She is the Choi Wagon who helped my injured hand outside the church. Such a sweetheart she is. I wish I could have talked to her. 13 Jan 2020. Dear Diary. I searched for her and found her. She is Choi's daughter, and she is already betrothed to Angst. Poor girl. She is just a young girl. How will she survive in that house? Maybe she can. After all, she was brought up in mob family only. But her dreams, I remember clearly that day she was praying in front of God that she wants to back every scholarship possible so that she could become a math professor. Did she forget her dreams, or did she just don't want to be a professor anymore? 14th March 2020. Dear Diary, I told that bastard Choi I want my future wife highly educated. There were many pages like this. Taehyung had poured his thoughts mostly about Wagon. That old hag had implanted some nasty thoughts inside her. It felt like I have brought a pet dog instead of a wife. I'm sounding harsh, ain't I? I know, but I'm not able to control my rage. Every time Taehyung hurt her, he didn't show emotions in front of anyone except his diary. His diary knew how much his heart was bleeding. December 15 2023. Dear Diary. I did it. I completely broke her. Am I ashamed of myself? I am. First time I heard her take my name with disgust. You did amazing job by raising yourself, Taeyangshi. If would have been with your true self, would you our story would be different. She could practically hear the sweet siren call of the treats, and just as she was about to indulge, her husband's voice echoed from the hallway. Her eyes landed on a small dusky box tucked away on the shelf. She quickly shoved the chocolate inside, but as she Taeyangshi, a whisper left her mouth as she caressed the diary's cover. The man who's kind, generous, vulnerable when needed, compassionate, he's such a gentleman that his shortcomings looks inferior to them. I sometimes feel I don't deserve him. I feel he deserves more, much more better love than me. Is he jealous of you? Ha, he is. He was damn sure if you didn't push me back, then your story would have been different. My story would have been different. Silly him. Now, don't think I am being disrespectful. I'm sorry if you felt like that, but these are my true feelings. I won't lie. I respect you a lot, Taeyangshi. I'm grateful to you. I do love you, but not as a woman. Perks of being a owner of a cafe, honey. What are you up to, huh? Organizing or hiding something? Yeah, it's like a little party in there. See? Maybe they will take after you, full of energy. Do you think we will be good parents? She asked soundly. I think we are already doing great. We got love, laughter, respect, serenity, and a little bit of chaos. Let's make sure to keep the chaos fun. Oh, you know this, but even after all these years, you don't know what to reply, huh? Obviously, I know what to reply. Jeon Jungkook, you and your weird phrases. Just like you don't think I didn't notice smell of chocolates from you, huh? I will not give any more chocolates tomorrow. So, episode 8 was the last episode of Cruel Husband. I hope now you realized why I said I liked the story's male lead. He was amazing, full of flaws yet perfect. His thoughts were filled with flaws yet beautiful. He wanted to become a better version of himself, but he didn't have time in his hand. He was surrounded by darkness, yet he refused to drag anyone with him inside those black holes. He didn't have anyone to teach him what's wrong or right, yet he was able to differentiate what's wrong, what's right. He made mistakes, did wrong, but he owned his mistakes too. If not in front of anyone, but at least in front of mirror. He was like a black rose, hauntingly beautiful. I don't know if anyone liked him or not, but I love him. I felt his actions, emotions were just too nicely portrayed. His anger, restlessness, vulnerability, ignorance, cruelty, everything was on point. On contrary, I hated writing the female lead. Absolutely loathed her. Still do. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I find her very irritating. I still loathe her. I have realized that my characters can be villain, vulnerable, emotionally unstable, disturbed, alone, but not doormat, especially female characters. And during Oh, I forgot to clear this to you all. Taehyung met Vine first time when she was about to turn 14 and he was already 19, about to turn 20. Vine was in love with the idea of her husband, as she was taught to love whoever her husband was. It had nothing to do with Taehyung's outer beauty or inner demons. Later, when she got the news of his and read his diary, she started to respect him, this time truly. It was because of Taehyung's thoughts only. Oh, mind you, Wayne didn't have 180-degree turn of her personality from her 23 years old self. No, she was similar but different. Independent, have high morals, questions wrong in life, doesn't just accept everything because she was taught to. Anyways, enough of my ramblings. Bye, take care.